Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much, Provost Filbert. That's the first time I've been able to say that at Convocation. You've had a great first day. Good job. And good evening to you, the great class of 2021. Before I begin, I want to extend the sympathies of the University of Michigan to all members of our community who've been affected by Hurricane Harvey. We've worked with our students from that area to assist with scheduling housing needs. The difficulties, of course, are ongoing, and I wish everyone the best as they cope with the devastation. We stand at the ready to provide other types of help to academic communities in Texas and Louisiana as well. It's my pleasure to be here to help welcome you, along with so many of your friends and families, as new members of the Michigan family. Welcome everyone to the University of Michigan. Students, I hope that you're all moved in and ready to begin. On that note, I'd like to express a special thank you to the 700 volunteers who helped with move-in days this year. The planning and the expert execution of this annual event is remarkable. Let's give all the move-in helpers a hand. This year, as always, I'm impressed by the amazing qualities and spectacular credentials of the incoming class at the University of Michigan. You hail from all parts of the state of Michigan, 49 of the 50 United States, and 67 other nations all around the world. Get with it, Wyoming. You're being left behind this year. You are amongst the best and the brightest in your communities, and now you're here at the University of Michigan about to embark on the next phase of your lives. Congratulations. I'd like to speak with you about two important topics this evening. They may seem unrelated, but I bet that you'll see the connections. First, I'd like to encourage you to take charge of your own education. A lot of people played a role in getting you here. Your teachers, your parents, your community have all supported you along the way. But now that you're here, a different question comes into focus. What is it that you want to get out of college? How are you going to figure out what you plan to do after your formal education is complete? We'll advise you, but all of these are choices and decisions you're going to have to make for yourself. For our part, the outstanding Michigan faculty will be sure that regardless of what you study, you'll learn to read and think critically, to write well, to express yourselves persuasively, to hone your quantitative reasoning skills, and to develop a deeper expertise in one or more subject areas or majors. But Michigan is about much more than just this set of important skills and knowledge. The truly successful students here learn how to define for themselves what they want to learn and what they want to accomplish here and later in life. The best students explore and take risks by engaging in things you might not think you're naturally so good at. You seek out experiences you haven't had before and develop relationships with people that are very different than yourselves. This is the first step towards living a more fulfilling life, a life with purpose and personal agency. When you take control of your own education, you also begin to take ownership of your own future. I want each of you to think of yourself as an entrepreneur, not necessarily in the most common sense of that word, but rather as a person who takes ownership of their own destiny. Entrepreneurs don't fear uncertainty or failure. Entrepreneurs set big goals and they persevere regardless of obstacles, and they take risks. And I'd like to focus for a few moments on what I mean by taking risks. One kind of risk I'm referring to is an intellectual one. If you're good at math, take a poetry class, or better yet, try linguistics. If you're an economics whiz, take some biology or physics. If you're a musician, try statistics or sociology. You won't truly be able to uncover your full range of talents without exploration that entails the risk of failure. You might discover novel connections between things you already know, or you might uncover distinct talents you never knew that you had. I'm not saying you shouldn't be a nerd, but rather you should be a fearless nerd with a sense of purpose. from a nerd myself. Those of you who intend to conduct research with us here at the University of Michigan inevitably will encounter intellectual risks. It's a risk to pursue knowledge when you don't know what the outcome will be. This type of exploration has been central to our success as a university for 200 years. Faculty and student researchers across the breadth of our university do it every day. It's led to cures for diseases, walking robots, new editions of Gershwin masterpieces, and software like Adobe Photoshop. And beware, everyone who takes an intellectual risk will fail at times, and that's okay. It's how you learn, it's how you make progress. It's how you can turn ideas into actions that change lives and communities and changes society for the better. In case you think this advice is just coming from me, let me quote an alum, Roger Ehrenberg. He's built his career and a venture capital firm on the idea that entrepreneurial approaches can be applied to solve problems and maximize opportunities. You are the founders of yourselves and your future, he advises students. Perhaps the greatest gift we can give to new students is the urge to be resourceful, to take ownership, to engage, to try without fear of failure, and to get all you can from your peers, professors, advisors, and the community. There's yet another type of risk that's directly linked to our university's mission, but it's far more personal. It's the risk of thinking differently and deeply about an issue or an idea that's familiar, or better yet, one that makes you uncomfortable. Maybe that's a different political stance, religion, or viewpoint that you just haven't encountered before. It's also a risk to reach out and interact with someone from a different place or background. The admissions office has worked hard to assemble a freshman class that draws from the incredible diversity of our great state, nation, and world. Many races, religions, nationalities, and cultures are represented among your classmates. Some grew up in apartments in big cities, and others in farms on rural communities. Some are immigrants to our nation, drawn here by the opportunity to study in an excellent academic environment. As students, your richest opportunity to learn beyond the curriculum is to engage across your differences. Understanding the perspectives and lived experiences of others is the best way to understand yourself and to become equipped to succeed in our increasingly multicultural and globalized society. We learn from people who are not like ourselves. We learn when we critically and honestly examine views that are different from our own. We learn more when we listen with our hearts and minds open to persuasion. We learn more when we test solutions built from diverse perspectives. We're a much better academic community when we learn from unfamiliar and from our differences. This takes practice, and college provides the perfect opportunity. But I also believe that true commitment to your own education means recognizing when difference is not being used to enhance learning. And that's the second topic I'd like to focus on today. When difference is instead used as a weapon to harm or threaten you or other members of our academic community. Recent events are illustrative of the challenges we face in today's political and social climate. The actions of hate groups and white supremacists who caused the tragic death and injuries in Charlottesville last month are a horrific reminder that there are those who would use our differences as human beings in the name of evil. They use difference to attack our shared values of peace and unity, equality and hope, and those who stand for them. In recent years at the University of Michigan, we too have been subject to despicable messages, espousing sentiments similar to those of the hate groups in Charlottesville. As recently as this very week, the rock out on Washtenaw was defaced with hateful comments. Many students, staff, and faculty have had their rightful place in our academic community called into question. This is simply not acceptable. Rigorous discussion of conflicting viewpoints is one way we learn, but hateful displays by anonymous provocateurs do not enhance learning in any academic environment. They're meant to discourage learning, disrupt lives, and incite fear. They seek to interfere with our students' ability to control their own futures. They take advantage of the role of the university as a marketplace for ideas and a bastion of free speech in order to spread hate and fear. Let me first reassure students and families here tonight that the physical safety of all members of our community is my very first priority. I can tell you that our student life staff and our Division of Public Safety and Security feel exactly the same way. Second, I'd like to reiterate to all of our students from our own state, from elsewhere around the country, and from all around the world that you are all welcome here. We're proud you've decided to pursue your education at the University of Michigan. You make us a stronger university and enrich our community and nation by your many talents, your hard work, and the diverse perspectives and life experiences you all bring to campus. So how do we as an academic community respond? First of all, we will not take actions that violate our responsibility as a public institution to ensure the constitutional right to freedom of expression and to maintain our campus's status as a marketplace for ideas. You can count on me, however, to work within the law to protect the physical safety of our community and to speak out against racism, bigotry, and hate of all kinds. A personal attack on any of us because of race, ethnicity, religion, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, abilities, or political beliefs is an attack on all of us. As students in control of your own education, you'll each have to decide how to respond to these assaults as well. How will you prevent expressions of hate from seriously interfering with your education? How will you deny those who express hateful ideas power over us? Will you take the risk to speak out if your classmates are targeted? Will you reject a purposefully hateful speaker on campus by protesting, by instead seeking productive dialogue, or by simply ignoring them? I began today by talking about responsibility and freedom as you embark in this next step of your academic career. We all share a responsibility for rejecting hate in our academic and campus environment here at the University of Michigan. And we all have the freedom to choose how we engage and work to solve one of the most difficult issues that we face in our society today: the balance between freedom of expression and our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I hope that our choices begin with unity. Actively supporting one another will help us build strength and resilience as a community and maintain control of our own educational goals and purposes. We're planning additional opportunities to get together to discuss difficult topics throughout the year. The day after the Charlottesville tragedies, members of the University of Michigan community and others assembled on the Diag for a vigil commemorating the victims and calling for an end to hate. I know we face many challenges, and there's much more to do to live up to the ideals that attracted you to our 200-year-old public university. But we are at our best when we work together to ensure that everyone is welcome at the University of Michigan, so that we can all have the freedom to engage across our differences, to learn, and to turn ideas into actions that change lives and communities and society for the better. All of you, through your hard work and because of your talents, deserve this chance. You've earned your place here at the University of Michigan, along with the responsibilities that go along with it. 4 years of intellectual risks and opportunities are before you for the taking. Go learn from them. Take charge of your education and your future. Help us build an increasingly strong and resilient community. Have a great and productive time here at the University of Michigan. Welcome once again to the fantastic class of 2021, and go blue.